If the last few years have taught us anything, then that air freight is essential for the world economy, and that should of course also be reflected in our collection. So here we have an air freighter, let's see what it has to offer. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Boeing 767-300F of DHL. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of that we have the DHL branding. Then on the back side of the box we have a lovely image of the aircraft in real life. We're provided with the original dimensions of the aircraft and the DHL branding. So look at this, Herpa. Back in the day you were able to make a decent box design, and if the picture is too difficult then just add a rendition. You were able to do so in the past, why not today? And here she is, the Boeing 767-300F in the current standard livery of DHL. The aircraft model itself was created by Herpa Wings back in 2014. So let's see what Herpa managed to add to this freighter. And we start our tour around the aircraft model with a look at the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the DHL branding. On the fuselage we then have the full registration code of the aircraft and the aircraft type specification, as well as a little bit of detailing around the APU exhaust towards the very tail of the aircraft. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we find the DHL branding once more, and we also have the main hatch for the cargo hold printed on. The cockpit section itself, well, offers us the cockpit windows with the window wipers, and above the cockpit windows we have the last two letters of the registration code. Overall not too many printed details, but I do quite like the shape of the mold here. The engine nacelles of the 767 have been kept in a light grey coloring and have the silver leading edge printed on. That means not too many printed details here. But what is rather nice about the engines is the physical detailing. I think Herpa has done a decent job with that, especially when we look into the engines from the front, where we very nicely can see the engine fan blades. And from the engines we can move on to the wings, which we should definitely also take a closer look at, starting over the top side, where we can see the different flap slats. The spoilers have been carved out very nicely, and we have some different shades of grey for additional detailing. The underside of the wings, also here we find some lovely physical detailing, as well as the full registration code of the aircraft once again. And with this 767-300F we do also have winglets. Yes, also with freighters fuel efficiency is a thing, and they have been rather nicely executed here from Herpa Wings. Then the landing gear of this aircraft model, well, that is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all their 767s, and that is in this case actually quite a good thing because it actually looks pretty decent. The only thing I'm missing here are some printed details around the front landing gear. And then last but not least, we do also have the remaining doors to the cargo compartments that we haven't looked at yet, here at the back of the aircraft and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Boeing 767-300F in the current standard livery of DHL from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Well, firstly we have to note that this is not a bad model from Herpa Wings, at least not for the standard of 2014. But it's also not a great model. And why it is not a great model? Well, in my opinion it's because there are barely any details on it. Of course, it has the most basic details you need, so you can recognize this as being an air freighter, but that's really it. You don't really get anything else. And I think it's a little bit of a shame, because considering a passenger aircraft does need quite a few more details as the bare minimum, Herpa has been saving a lot of money with this aircraft model, and they could have reinvested it in adding just a few more details here and there. But ultimately, they didn't. So what we have here is a very basic aircraft model of an air freighter. And if you like air freight, then honestly speaking, it's not a bad model. I mean, it comes in the DHL livery. What I like also here is the fact that the 767 has been added with winglets. Yes, you could call it boring if you aren't interested in that aspect of aviation. But if you are, then I would say it is actually not a bad aircraft model to have in one's collection. So with that conclusion, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.